What's up, people? Orseofkorse here, coming at you with another Paragon deck build. Today, I want to be looking at Steel. So, Steel's a tank. This is definitely not the tank meta anymore, but I still think tanks are viable in the way of their utility, especially Steel, because he has two knockouts. He has his shield that blocks projectiles and slows, and he also has his regular shield that stops, I think, like 90% of damage or 85, but whatever. It stops a lot of damage. So if you play him, fairly smartly, if you play him well, he can still be a big help on the team, especially early and mid game. Late game, it becomes big skill based because like Murdoch's Twin Blast can definitely melt you down pretty good. But if you're using your kit well, I think Steel is still very viable, and he can really hinder an enemy team with just his utility with his support. So let's go ahead and jump into that. That's my little speech for why I think tanks are still viable. Anyway, I start off with the Centurion. So once you get Prime buff, you get the 500 health and 100% damage bonus. So I like that. I went with the health because he is a tank, and I think the health will be more viable than the extra damage, the 60 power. So I went with the health. Now, the consumables I kept very simple. I just went health potion, mana potion, scout's ward. I was gonna go like a barrier token or a health token, but I changed my mind. Just went simple. I might try some of those in later once I start messing around with the decks a little bit more. But for now, I just kept it simple, and that seems to be working pretty well. Now, as we get into the actual deck here, I'm gonna go with my throwaways first, and then I'll go with how I build for mid and end game. So early on, I actually start with 3 of these cards. They're called the Silver Spear. Now, the reason I go with these is because they give me a nice little mix of stats. So 6 power, 1.4 health regen, and then 30 mana. Once you fully upgrade it, you get another 6 power. And I equip that with 3 minor strikes. I like this because it gives me a nice little bit of damage early on, but it also gives me a good amount of health regen in early game, especially if you're playing a little more cautious, because you're with your carry, making sure not to get ganked, making sure they get the last hits. This also keeps you topped up unless you have like a really aggressive offlaner that you're going against. So I like this because it keeps me pretty much full, especially when I get 3 spears. So I like that for that reason. Closer to end game though, I definitely don't use these because the health regen is pretty much useless at that point. Even if you have, I think it's like 8.3 health regen towards the end. So it's basically like a health potion. But at that point in the game, people are hitting so hard that these don't matter. So early game, I like these. Late game, I don't think they're viable. So I use 3 silver spears early game. And those are those right there. I also have the Guardian's Ward in my deck. I keep this in here because I like to have that vision. Not only for myself, but for my team. So this gives you 6 power, 50 health, and once you fully upgrade it, you get another 6 power. And I equip this with 3 lesser health, which gives me 200 extra health. I know this isn't the health meta, but I still equipped a little bit of help on my tank just so you can take a few hits. If you're using your shields well and your knockups, you can avoid some of that damage as well. But a little bit of health is good, to make you somewhat tanky. Now, up here are my damage cards for the most part. The final card that I usually build, or one of the final cards, depending on how the game is going, is the Adamant Edge. And I equipped, well, this one's 6 power, 50 health, and then 12 power once you fully upgrade it. And I equipped this with a greater health, and then 2 major strikes, 18 power apiece, 150, giving me 200 health once I fully go right there. So I like that card because it gives me a little bit of damage, and I can also equip it with a little bit of health. I did the same thing with this Adamant Edge, but it's on a lesser degree. So instead of the 2 major strikes, I just did 2 regular strikes and a health. So 150 health there, but focusing on the damage a little bit. Like I say, this isn't a health meta, so I keep some damage. I keep a fair bit of damage in the deck just so I'm actually a threat in this game. Now, these last cards down here are purely for defense, for my own defense, and this one is for helping my team. So these are all 11-point cards, and I went with the Tempered Plate. That's 7 basic armor, 50 health, and then 14 basic armor. Now, I might switch it up and go with 2 Tune Barriers, the ones that give you energy armor, because basic armor It seems like there's a lot less basic attacks going around now. It's more energy attacks, or ability attacks, I should say. So I might switch this up a little bit, but for right now I have the basic armor. So 7 basic armor, 50 health, 14 basic armor once you fully upgrade it. Then I equip that with 2 divine barriers, which is 21 basic armor apiece, and then 2 health, which gives you 100 health there. Now my tomb barrier is exactly the same, just that this one gives you ability armor. So 4 ability armor, 50 health, and then 8 ability armor once you fully upgrade it. I equip that with 2 divine barriers, which gives you 12 ability armor and another health. I'm thinking that I might go with 2 of these, but try it out and see what you think, because I think ability armor is more viable right now than basic, but I like running both of them. And then my last card here is the Barrier Will. You can also swap this out with Heart of the Pure, I think is what it's called, but it does the same thing. So this one is 7 basic armor, 30 mana, and then the active is it shields yourself and nearby allies for 3 seconds, absorbing up to 125 plus 25 times the player's level. So it absorbs basically 500 damage. And that's not like a whole bunch, but that's basically 1 attack from a carry on average, because I can get Murdoch more than 500, but because Murdoch can hit for 900 or 1,000 if you build them a certain way. But I'm seeing that a lot of people are hitting for around 500, 525, 600, 700. So having a 500 shield, that mitigates a lot of damage. That's the difference between living and dying. And in this meta where people are dying a lot faster, that 1 hit can make the difference. So I like keeping this card and on my support, or a card like it that gives the shield. I equip this with 3 minor guards, giving me some more basic armor basically. Like I said, I might switch this out for more ability armor. The reason I like this card as well is because of the passive. So it has an active and a passive, which most cards don't have, and this one gives you plus 7 basic armor and 4 ability armor to nearby allies. I like that because it also gives my teammates a little more survivability. Now that's what I have so far for my steel build. This seems to be giving me some success, so you know, check it out and see if it helps you. Yeah, that's what I got for you so far today. I think that's where I'm going to stop. So if this helps you at all, make sure to drop a comment, tell me that it helped you. If it didn't help you, let me know that as well. Let me know what you might change in the deck, because I'm always looking for feedback. Also, people, let me know who your favorite tank is right now, because right now I think I am liking Steel, but I'm also a big fan of Richter. But let me know who you're running right now and who you think is the most viable tank at the moment. Make sure to like, subscribe for more content, and to see when my deck builds and other videos come out. Also, share the video out if you think somebody else might like it. As always, people, I appreciate you coming, watching, supporting the channel. We'll see you in the next video. Yeah, have a good one. Orseofkorse out.